Good day. This is a marked script for agriculture, paper 2. The paper was for agri-test math not examinations. It was for mid-year for O-level candidates. So this is paper 2. Let's revise section A very quick. Right, section A, the candidate is supposed to answer all the questions, and there are 6 questions, each question carrying 10 marks. So section A is out of 60. So this question was asking, state any 2 factors used to divide the country into natural farming regions. So what are the factors which are used when dividing the country into natural farming regions? One of the factors is rainfall, and the other factor is temperature. You can also talk of agricultural activities which are practiced in different regions. Also, soil quality are also used when dividing the country into agroecological regions. But rainfall and temperature are the main ones. Right. Then next question, explain the effects of the following factors on crop production. Explain the effects of the following factors on crop production. First factor is high rainfall. If there is high rainfall, there is a likelihood of having a leaching, which leads to loss of nutrients, leading to poor crop productivity, since the nutrients will be leached or washed downwards. So that's one of the effect of high rainfall. Then what about low rainfall? That is item 2, low rainfall. If there is low rainfall, plants will wilt due to shortage of water, and this will lead to reduce the yields in plants. So these are some of the effects. Right, let's move on to the next question, that is describe the socio-economic importance. Describe the socio-economic importance of indigenous trees in Zimbabwe. Socio-economic importance. So here we're just talking about the social and also economic importances of indigenous trees. Right, they can provide for carbon sequestration, whereby the trees absorb carbon dioxide that is in the atmosphere as they are photosynthesizing. So they reduce the impact of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And then they also provide fruits. And some of them, they also provide timber for construction. Some of them are also used for making furniture. So there are a lot of the socio-economic importances. So that was a simple question. And then we also have outline any 4 principles to be observed when designing a crop rotation program. Crop rotation program. When we're designing a crop rotation program, we say crops of the same family should not follow each other. The initial rotated crops should alternate with deep rooted crops. Crop rotation should always include a lagging crop. A fallow period should be included. That is, maybe after 4 years, the land is left for some time to recover. That is a fallow period. And then also manure should be added after every 2 to 4 seasons to revive the soil fertility. So that was number 1. And this candidate managed to get 10 over 10. That was a good performance. And then let's move on to number 2. Number 2, he was asking the learner to list any 2 surface sources of water for irrigation. Right. When you talk of sources of water for irrigation, there are many sources. We have boreholes, wells, dams, lakes, rivers, and so forth. But this question was specific surface sources. Surface sources. So the surface sources, we have dam and a river. Someone can add a lake. Those are the surface sources, right? And then identify any 4 methods of improving and maintaining a good soil structure. Good soil structure. When you talk of soil structure, we're talking about the arrangement of soil particles. So to maintain them or to improve them, we can add organic matter, or someone can just say add manure. We can also add endial soil, especially on sandy soils. We can also cultivate the soil. We can also add agricultural lime. These are the methods that can be put in place to improve soil structure. Generally, someone can say conservation tillage practices. They are good in conserving soil structure, which include mulching, and so forth. Right. Explain the importance of crop breeding. Explain the importance of crop breeding. Crop breeding, in simple terms, is the improvement of crops. So when you improve crops, we can have the following benefits. It increases yields, improves crop standing stability, it improves resistance to diseases and pests, it improves the quality, it improves tolerance to drought, it improves palatability of the crops, it improves nutritional value. There are so many importances of crop breeding. And then let's move on to describe any two importances of haptotropism. Haptotropism. There are many tropisms. You have geotropism, you have phototropism, you have hydrotropism. That is the response of plants to stimulus, right? So in this case, in haptotropism, the plant will be responding to the sense of touch. So here you can give an example of climbing plants, the plants that grow up climbing on other trees. That is influenced by haptotropism. So how is it? How is this important now? It balances the plant upwards. Those plants with the weak stems are balanced by the other plants, and this is being influenced by haptotropism. Uh, it also enables the plants to access light as they are growing and climbing on other plants. They can effectively access light. So this is another importance of haptotropism. So yeah, he is just supposed to give 2 points for that question. And then number 4, you're given a graph. The graph shows the growth rate of broilers at a school. Then here we're having time in weeks. This side we're having grams. That is the weight of broilers. So in week 1, the weight of broilers was at this point. Then from here to here, that is a region A here. You can see that the growth rate was taking place, but it was very slow. And then from here up to here, the growth rate was exponential. It was very fast. And then from this point to this point at C, at region C, there, the growth rate starts to be stationary, constant, or it stops. So that is the general overview of this graph. Then what are the questions now? Comment on the growth rate of broilers in region B and region C. At region B, there was fast growth rate of broilers. Then at region C, broilers have reached maturity and the growth rate stops. So that is the comment in terms of growth rate. Then what is the average? What is the average mass of birds at 4 weeks? So you come here at 4 weeks, you draw a dotted line going straight. Then if you get there, then you also draw a dotted line coming this side. So the average is just below 1,500 grams. So here anything that is below 1,500 grams, that is 1,250 to 1,300 grams was the average. So that was the mark. So for you to get that one, you have to draw that dotted line to connect 4 weeks there on the graph. Then also go on the side of on the y-axis where the weight of the broilers are shown, right? At which point should the school slaughter or sell broilers? At region C, when they've reached maturity, or between week 5 and week 6, where they are starting to, where growth rate is no longer increasing. Okay. Explain the functions of the following parts of the animal reproductive system. We have ovaries. What is the functions of the ovaries? The ovaries, its function is to produce ovum. If it's one, then the ova, if there are so many. It also to release hormones, like estrogen, progesterone. Those are the hormones. And then uterus. Uterus is the site for implantation. It's the site for implantation after fertilization. It also accommodates the fetus until birth, or someone can just say it nourishes the developing embryo, right? And then let's move on. Name any one type of harness harness is suitable to track each of the following animals. For donkeys, we use what we call a breast band, because they have a lot of power in the breast. So breast band is the best suited for donkeys. Then for oxen, we use yokes, single neck yoke or double neck yoke. That's the one which is suitable for the ox. And then let's move on. We have the small board plow, and the paddler belt is this one. So you're supposed to identify it. So this part is the landslide, and its function, it is for stabilizing the plow. It is for stabilizing the plow. That's the function, to stabilize the plow or to keep the plow in the furrow as you are plowing, right? And then you're supposed to calculate the rolls of barbed wire required for a 4-strand fence on a plot measuring 100 meters by 80 meters if one roll of barbed wire measures 800 meters. So the first thing to do here is to calculate the perimeter of this is it a garden or what, for this plot, right? So for perimeter, we say side plus side plus side plus side. So it has got 4 sides. So we get 360, right? After getting 360, each roll is measuring how much, is measuring 800 meters. So 360 divided by 800, that is 0.45. And this 0.45 is needed to cover only one strand. And we are supposed to put how many strands? 4 strands. So then we multiply this 0.45 times 4 and we'll get 1.8 rolls. But however, in a shop you cannot buy a 1.8 rolls. So the closest here is 2 rolls. Then there will be a remaining. So you just buy 2 rolls. So the answer was 2 rolls. Okay, right. Let's move on. Describe the maintenance, that is a maintenance procedure for farm roads. Maintenance procedure for farm roads. That is a opening of the silted culverts. You can accept that one, so that the drainage of the road is always on point. Reconstructing roads every season, especially after rain season, there will be potholes. So you have to reconstruct by covering the potholes. You have to resurface with gravel. We have to fill the potholes, opening silted drains, and also cutting trees along the road to make it clear. So those are some of the maintenance procedures. And then number six, identify crops that are controlled by marketing legislation. These are the crops of importance in Zimbabwe, and they are controlled by marketing legislation. And one of those crops include tobacco, cotton, maize, wheat, sugarcane. So these are the important crops in Zimbabwe. That's why their marketing is controlled by the law, right? Advantages of controlled marketing. Controlled marketing is controlled by the government. So its advantages include stability of prices. If marketing is controlled, prices become stable. The farmers will know the expected price for their produce. It also controls the quality of the produce. Quality of the produce is controlled. Farmers can also plan their production. So plan the production, and also access to export markets. These are some of the advantages. However, the disadvantages of this one now, there are many restrictions. Since it is controlled, there are many restrictions which will affect the farmers. Inefficiency, because since farmers, they know that marketing is controlled, and whatever they produce, customers are going to buy, the quality will drop. There is no need to improve on quality, since they know that their produce is going to be bought. So it will affect the quality, right? Also, in controlled marketing, there are delayed payments. Delayed payment is also a challenge. Okay. Explain any 4 ways of minimizing the effects of risks in agriculture. To minimize the effects of risks in agriculture. Risks risks can be insured against. Risks can be insured against. And then you can also talk of contract farming, whereby farmers are producing and they know that their produce, all of it is going to be bought. Then farmers should also diversify. Farmers should budget accurately. They also supposed to make good decisions, and they have to create a good relationship with customers through marketing their products, and they should also maintain quality of the products. So these are some of the ways that they can put in place, and also improve the technology and also disease prevention in their crops or livestock. So this was section A for this paper, but some of the questions that where they were not out of 10, so the omissions for part C and other questions. So section A was out of 94, and this candidate managed to get 86 over 94, and that was 91%. Sorry, for section A, this candidate got 48 over 54. Okay, so in next video, we're going to revise section B of this paper. Thank you.